Othello Act 4, Scene 1. This pivotal scene reveals Othello's complete descent into jealousy and rage, driven by Iago's relentless manipulation. It is a turning point in the play, where Othello's love for Desdemona is overshadowed by his mistrust and anger, setting the stage for the tragedy to unfold. The scene opens with Iago planting even more seeds of doubt in Othello's mind. He casually continues to suggest that Desdemona and Cassio are having an affair. Iago's words are calculated, emphasizing the idea that Cassio has mocked Othello behind his back. Iago pretends to sympathize with Othello, telling him that cheating is a common thing and that Desdemona is no exception. His subtle manipulation creates an overwhelming pressure in Othello's mind. As Othello listens to Iago's insinuations, he becomes increasingly agitated and emotional. His inner turmoil builds to the point where he falls into a trance-like state, fainting. This moment signifies Othello's complete loss of control over his emotions. Iago, however, shows no sympathy and instead gloats over the effectiveness of his plan. He remarks on how easily Othello can be controlled, likening him to an animal driven by blind rage. When Othello regains consciousness, Iago continues to manipulate him. He devises a plan to prove Desdemona's infidelity. He tells Othello to hide nearby while he talks to Cassio. Iago promises to get Cassio to talk about Desdemona in a way that will confirm Othello's suspicions. However, Iago's actual plan is far more devious. Cassio soon enters the scene, and Iago begins a casual conversation with him. But instead of talking about Desdemona, Iago cleverly steers the topic toward Bianca, a courtesan who is infatuated with Cassio. Cassio speaks dismissively about Bianca, laughing at her obsessive love for him. Hidden from view, Othello hears the laughter and assumes that Cassio is mocking his affair with Desdemona. Othello's anger intensifies as he misinterprets the conversation. To further inflame Othello's jealousy, Bianca enters the scene carrying the handkerchief that Othello gave Desdemona. She angrily accuses Cassio of giving her another woman's token of love, which he denies. This moment is the final nail in the coffin for Othello's trust in Desdemona. The sight of the handkerchief in Bianca's possession convinces Othello beyond doubt that Desdemona has betrayed him with Cassio. Once Cassio and Bianca leave, Othello steps forward, now entirely consumed by jealousy and rage. He vows to take revenge on both Cassio and Desdemona. Iago further fuels his anger, urging him to kill Desdemona in her bed, the very place where Othello believes she has been unfaithful. Othello agrees to this gruesome plan, declaring that Desdemona must die. At this point, Lodovico, a messenger from Venice, arrives with news from the Duke. Lodovico brings a letter instructing Othello to return to Venice and appoint Cassio as governor of Cyprus. This news enrages Othello even more. In a shocking display of his deteriorating state, he strikes Desdemona in Lodovico's presence. This act horrifies everyone, including Lodovico, who begins to question Othello's judgment and character. The scene ends with Othello storming off, leaving Lodovico and Desdemona stunned. Lodovico wonders how such a noble and respected man could behave so violently. Meanwhile, Desdemona remains confused and heartbroken, unable to understand why her husband has turned against her. Key themes and emotional tone. 1. Jealousy is a destructive force. Othello's jealousy, stoked by Iago, reaches its peak in this scene. It consumes his judgment and transforms him from a loving husband into a vengeful man. 2. Manipulation and deception. Iago's ability to manipulate every character, especially Othello, is on full display. His lies and schemes push Othello further into madness. 3. Miscommunication and misinterpretation. Othello's failure to see the truth and his reliance on Iago's words highlight the tragic consequences of misunderstanding. 4. Tragic transformation. Othello's striking of Desdemona marks a turning point in his character, showing how jealousy has completely destroyed his sense of reason and honor. This scene is a masterful combination of dramatic irony, emotional intensity, and escalating tension. It solidifies the tragedy's trajectory, making it clear that Othello's path to destruction is now irreversible.